Greetings everyone, welcome to another edition of Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator X Action. This is FlightSimGuy. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Now, let me talk about the last episode. I will admit I bit off more than I can chew, trying to land at that tiny airport in the Caribbean. Having said that, it is one of the top 10 hardest landings or hardest, most difficult airports to land in the world, and I never tried it before, so I won't be so hard on myself. And I know that was some pretty bad flying. Probably makes me look like a bad pilot. Well, truth of the fact is I'm really not a bad armchair pilot. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm really not that bad. So, to redeem myself, I've chosen a much simpler mission. What we're going to do today is we're going to take this plane, which is the ERJ 145. It's the Embraer regional jet. They're very, very popular, very, very common. And we're going to fly this from Vegas to LA. Now that's about 220 miles. That's typically what this kind of plane does for these short hops. And again, I have my window and window right here. And before I go ahead and talk about this plane, let me go ahead and show you what we're doing with regards to the flight plan. So let's take a quick look at the plan. Alright. This is simbrief.com. Whenever I fly the ERJ or any big jets like that, I always come here first to get my flight plan done. It's a one-stop shop. It's a website that does everything for you for the most part. It's free. Some guy develops it and maintains it. And I'm not exactly sure what his story is, but anyhow, let me show you how this works. So you can just go ahead and put in whatever you want for airline. I just put the AAL, flight number, whatever number you want. Here, KLAS. Arrive, KLAX, and you want to specify pounds instead of kilograms depending on where you are. And in here I've already configured the website with all my planes. We're flying the Embraer 145. Just stick that right there. It will go ahead and pick up suggested routes that other people have used in the past and stick it in there. We'll go ahead and analyze that route. If there were no suggested routes, you'd have had to use another website such as skyvector.com to go ahead and plan the routes by yourself. In this case, someone else has flown this before. So you get your route is validated. All this stuff, for the most part, time en route are 1 hour 20 minutes, runways and whatnot. All that's based on actual information or real world information that's out there with regards to the weather and so forth. So once you have this, you go ahead and generate OFP, and it does its thing. And here's a completed flight plan. It's about 22 pages, and they try to keep it as realistic as possible. All of this information right here is what you're going to use when you plan your flight, when you fill out the FMS. Here's an actual route, and you can file it to VATSIM, you can print it to PDF, you can also export it as a flight plan file that you'll import into one of the simulators or Squawk Box or one of the add-ons or whatever. So that's the flight plan. I've already done this, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we're back over here. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to cram all this into 30 minutes because the startup alone for this plane takes about 20 minutes to start up and taxi, which is about how long it takes in the real world. In fact, this add-on, it's not top-notch as like the PDMG add-ons, you know, the 767 and 737 and whatnot. This one only costs about, you know, 35, 40 bucks, but it's very, very good. A lot of real-world ERJ pilots use this to train, and I do believe the Dutch Air Force uses this simulator to train their military ERJ pilots. So let's go ahead and get started. I've already set up the plane configuration for 40 passengers and 1,000 pounds of fuel. So we'll go ahead and get started. Turn on the emergency brakes. It also has a built-in call checklist, so let's go ahead and fire that up. Shift 3, nope. Shift 5, nope. Shift 4, nope. Shift 1, no, we don't want that. Let's go back to I think it's Shift 7. Nope, Shift 6. There it is. Alright.
Ready to start checklist. Fasten belts, no smoke.
Okay. You don't want that.
Cold and dark checklist. APU.
It misses a couple things. Alright, go ahead and turn on the batteries.
Okay.
Turn on the right fuel pump that provides fuel for the APU. And get the APU started.
On. Emergency lights. Armed avionics master. 2 on. FMS.
Alright, here comes the tedious part of flying this plane. You don't have to use a flight management system. You can always fly VOR to VOR, fly VFR, but these planes aren't designed to be flown that way. They're designed to be flown by the autopilot, so I'm going to have to go through this. Alright, position initialization, we're at KLS. Flight plan. The destination is KLAX. And at this point we enter the route. Now, for this particular flight, since Vegas and LA is so close, there is no route. So all you need to do is select a SID, standard instrument departure, from Vegas, and a star, standard arrival, for LA, and that should get me there. So right here, all I need to do is close the flight plan, enter KLAX, and then I do my performance initialization. I never say that word. Go to the 4th screen. We're going to cruise at flight level 340. And we have 40 passengers, 1,000 pounds cargo, and fuel. Oh, I didn't check the fuel. I'm carrying way too much fuel. Usually, the airlines, you only carry just enough fuel, and I did not set the fuel properly, so we're going to be flying with full tanks, which is fine.
Initialize. Speeds.
Okay, speeds. You come over here. Now, in this case, it computes the speeds for you. In the real world, you actually have to look up the speeds using tables and enter them manually. Okay, trims. Trims is around here somewhere. There it is right here. Get it to 4. There we go. Alright.
Takeoff data.
Takeoff data. Now for this, what you need to do is you need to go to the 2D screen. View mode, cockpit. There we go. And then I need to bring up the overhead panel. Click this, and then tab down to your temp, and set the temperature in Celsius for what it is at Vegas, which is this right here. 32 degrees. Anti-ice is not needed. We'll turn it off.
Enter. End of checklist.
There. Let's go back to our 3D cockpit. Ugh. Okay. Then let's go ahead and set. I'm going to go ahead and set it to 34,000. I am not going to use the built-in ATC. They give you zigzag vectors, so speed is already set. I don't know what runway I'm taking off from yet, so I'll leave my headings unchecked for now. And ready to start.
Ready to start checklist. Fasten belts, no smoking.
Fasten belts, no smoking.
On red beacon.
Red beacon.
On fuel pump power.
Fuel pump. I already have the right one going. Just need to get the left one
2
going.
on pneumatic panel. Check. Emergency parking brake. On steering in off doors. Close. End of checklist.
Now the good thing about the E-Jets, Embraer, they have a very, very intuitive design philosophy. All knobs at 12 o'clock, all lights out is good. So the fact that these lights are on means I gotta click them. This is windshield anti-ice. It's pretty warm. We'll go ahead and turn them on anyway. These are your packs. Open the APU bleed valve so we can go ahead and start the engines. And these are hydraulics. Turn these on. Engine startup.
Engine start checklist. Engine 1.
Okay, engine 1. When this hits about 18%, you go ahead and turn on the fuel. There we go.
On engine 2.
Engine 2 is spooling up. Go.
On end of checklist.
Alright, we're going to keep the APU running until we pass about 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and set 18 degrees of flaps. Remove my throttle lock. And I always forget to do this. We're going to set our cabin pressure to about 6,000 feet. Alright, let's go ahead and push back and call clearance. We don't really need clearance, we're just taking off to the west.
Embraer, Papa Tango 7 Juliet Delta, taxi to it, short of runway 25, right, using taxiway, Bravo 4 Bravo, Charlie, contact tower on 119er, when ready.
Alright, 25 right. So we need to do a couple things here. First, stop taxiing. Let's go ahead and set our heading to 25, which is 25 right, about here. Let's go ahead and line this up also. Now remember when I set up the FMS, I didn't enter a route. Well, we need to enter our Sydney stars now. Now we know we're going from 25 right, so what we need to do is go to, I think is it performance? Navigation. Man, I always forget how to do this. Departure. 25 right. That there. And from my flight plan, I know we're taking from the Boch 6 SID, and I have Boch 5, so I need to update my my Navigraph database, but I'm pretty sure they're the same. I can never get these things lined up. What the hell? Is that right? There we go. Boch 5, and our transition is HEC, Hector transition. Activate. I also know that I'm landing. I'm going to be coming into LA on the River 2 Star. So let's go ahead and take get that programmed. Star. Is it River 2? There it is right here. Transition. Let's take. What the hell? Let's go ahead and activate it. Alright. Then we come over here and we can review the plan. Alright, so let's check it again. Alright, winds are 7 knots, 030. So 030 at 7. Alright, I just verified that the flight plan is good. Here's where a co-pilot would come in handy. Let's go ahead and run the flight safety briefing.
Before we depart, please remove the safety parts from the seat pocket in front of you and follow along as we demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft. We appreciate your complete attention to this important safety information.
And we can go ahead and taxi
May be required to assist the crew
to the runway.
If you are unable to perform the functions described.
Catch up with you in a second. Alright, to save some time, I've already gone through the remainder checklist. All we need to do is get to the runway, call the tower, and take off. A little bit about this plane. This is as big as a plane that I'm going to fly. I don't have the time or the patience to learn those big 737, 747, and 777, those PDMG add-ons. They're too complicated. Did I just miss my turn off? No, I think I did. Oh, yeah, I'm good. Anyhow, they're too complicated. I don't have the patience for them. So this is as big as a jet that I'm going to fly. And I've flown this thing quite a few times. Probably have maybe 100 or so hours in it. As far as landing, this thing is a little bit tricky. It's kind of like the stock Learjet. Relative to the size of the fuselage, the wings are very, very stubby. So at low speed, it's a little bit hokey when you're coming in for final. So we'll see how that works out. I can guarantee you it's going to be better than that disaster that happened in episode 3. Alright, coming up to the runway here. Get back with you on takeoff. Position and hold. They don't say that anymore. Now they say line up and wait. Whatever. Goes to see how old this program is. Alright. Get into position here.
Embraer Juliet Delta, did you copy?
Oh, yes I did.
Embraer Alpha takeoff, Zulu, Juliet Delta, cleared for takeoff, runway 25, right departure to the west approved.
Alright, we're ready to go. So what we're going to do is brakes, power up the engines.
Takeoff. Brake.
Yeah.
Brake. Takeoff. Brake.
Embraer Zulu, Juliet Delta, can you hear my last transmission?
God damn it, yes.
Takeoff. Runway 25, right. Embraer Juliet Delta.
Alright. We got the V speeds calculated, so I just need to watch my speed tape. Normally I have a co-pilot calling out the speeds, but I should be good to go. Then the second I take off, I'm going to turn on the autopilot and lock in my heading. Alright. Coming up to V1. V2, rotate. Positive rate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Now a lot of pilots, the second they take off and they're in the air, they'll go ahead and
Gear up.
autopilot heading, and they'll just go ahead and just pull up the flaps. I'd like to wait until I'm about 2,000 or 3,000 feet in the air before I come flaps up. Alright, we're at 160 after takeoff.
Checklist. Landing flaps.
Climb, flaps up.
Up.
Maintain vertical speed. Maintain.
Thrust rating.
Clear of conflict.
Climb. Overhead panel. Check. Altimeter. Set. End of checklist.
Alright, vertical speed. Traffic, what the hell? I don't see any damn traffic. Whatever. Alright. Heading. So all I'm doing right now is just flying the plane to follow this flight path. It's on my screen. I have to watch my speed. Watch my vertical speed. Turning. Once I'm in cruise climb, go. Once I'm in cruise climb, I can go ahead and set the navigation mode to FMS. Okay, flaps up. Set navigation mode to FMS. There. And set this to nav. I think that's nav. There we go. There. And at this point, the FMS is controlling the autopilot. So all I need to do is just monitor the engines. I can turn off the APU. Save some fuel. If you keep the APU running in flight, I don't like this traffic. Let's go ahead and come here. Switch this, and I can set my weather radar to normal. And at this point, the FMS is flying the plane, and I don't really have to do much. I can monitor my progress using the computer right here. Prog. And according to this, I should be at LAX in 34 minutes. Now, obviously, I'm not going to keep you on here the whole time. So, what I'm going to do is turn off the recorder. There's the FMS doing its thing. And I'll turn you back on when I'm about 10 or 15 minutes out. Alright. There is LA Tower. Okay, cool. LAX. We want full stop landing. Five right. Alright. One notch flaps. Approach checklist.
Approach checklist. Set. Pressurization. Check. APU on. Fasten seatbelts. No smoking on. End of checklist.
Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and lower so I can see a little bit better. And according to this,
Contact SoCal departure on 121.
progress 18 miles out. Let's go ahead and take it down to 2,700 feet. Dial in 2,700. And set your vertical speed to about 1,500 feet per minute. And the airport is right there. Now I know it's 25 right. There's 4 runways. Let's look at the airport taxi diagram. Doesn't really help. Yeah, 4 runways all pointed the same direction. Which one's left and which one's right? 24, 25. Planes. That's not good. The weather in this thing simulates wake turbulence. 25 right. Which one's 25 right? Oh, I know. I can look. Right here. I have another computer up on the website going. 25 right is the... Oh, come on. Seriously? That's the second runway from the left. And I'm going straight towards it. That's it right here. Let's see here. Nothing in clearance to land as yet. 27. Coming up on 27. Slow down. Before landing checklist.
Before landing checklist. Landing gear.
Alright, I have visibility on the runway. I'm at 218. Let's go ahead and kill the power. 299 to an altimeter. You know what? Let me go ahead and lower the gear. That'll slow me down. Autopilot off.
Los Angeles Tower, Skywest 4569er, ready for IFR departure. Runway check 4 left. Skywest 456.
Another notch of flaps.
Takeoff runway 24 left.
Give it some power.
Clear for takeoff. Runway check 4 left.
I imagine there is a lot of traffic around here. Alright, 25 right.
Embraer ERJ has Delta. Did you copy?
Damn it.
Clear to land. Runway 25 right. Embraer ERJ has Delta.
Okay, now my approach speed should be 147. My landing speed should be 137. So let's go ahead and come off the gas. Pull back on the stick a little bit. That'll slow me down. I'm at 2 notches. 162. Okay, drifting.
22 autopilot.
Flight slow.
Off. End of checklist.
Flight slow.
Yeah.
Flight slow. Flight slow.
Okay, that means I'm too low. Build up some speed and get back into the glide scope. Oh, and
Skywest 456 contact SoCal departure on 121.65.
a bit fast. High angle of attack. I really don't like landing like this. I prefer to be able to see the runway. Okay, 154, full flaps. 100 feet.
Approaching minimums.
Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow.
Minimums. Minimums.
Flight slow.
Minimums.
Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow.
100.
Flight slow.
Okay, that's not my best landing ever. Reverse thrusters. $60 knots. Brakes. And that's it. Alright, so this was a longer episode. My apologies for the length. I won't bore you with the taxi and the shutdown, but I just had to do this to prove that I am a decent armchair pilot after all. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.